Grand rising and priming powerful beings. Shout out to you. It's the holistic motivator. And today I'm going to be talking about being courageous as a healer and stepping out of fear. Being courageous as a healer and stepping out of fear. Keep tapping into this episode daily. Ooh, forgot the mic. How's everybody going? Bear with me here. Today I'm going to be talking about being courageous as a healer and stepping out of fear. One of the major things that hold people back is not actually that they don't have the ability to do what they're doing, but they're scared to do it. And for a minute, I had to actually overcome fear before I stepped into my ultimate power. The moment I beat fear to the side, I became so powerful that even the devil can't do nothing to me. And by that I mean I reached a point in my life where I realized that I had to step out of fear and step with courage. And the reason why I decided to step out of fear and into courage is because I'm an encourager. I'm here to encourage people, not be in fear, right? And there was a time where I realized that what I was brought here to do was going to be a little bit difficult because a lot of people don't want to see me do it. But at the same time, I have to keep doing it because that's what I was brought here to do. I'm miserable not doing something, so why would I be afraid of whoever is supposedly stopping me from doing it? So keep tapping into this episode if you want some motivation and some fire to beat fear. Fear is going to take a while to beat, but once you beat it, baby, you're going to step into your ultimate power. Your ultimate power is a moment where you don't get wavered by what you think is going to happen to you for spreading the truth. You just make yourself happen, right? It's a faith that you have. I talked about the unwavering power of faith, but there's a power in overcoming and conquering fear. I've been receiving a lot of comments. Hey, they don't want to see solutions. You have to make yourself in such a way that you are a solution and you're not afraid, right? Because that's what's going to get you to be powerful. We need more people to be in their power because here's the truth. Let's say this, they can't enslave all of us. They can't enslave all of us, and some of us have to free our minds because that's the only way we're going to escape the matrix. So keep tapping into this episode of Ed Talks baby. Ed Talks Daily, baby. Let's go. I want y'all to drop courage in the chat. Comment courage in the chat. If you want to be in your heart space, you have to be courageous. Courage. Courage meaning cur meaning heart. Courage, right? There's power in courage. There's power in leadership with courage. When we walk in fear, guess what happens? People can feel that. When you walk courageously, people can feel that. The energy of courage is going to help you go forward. So I want you to comment courage in the chat, not because I'm just asking you to comment it, because I want y'all to embody it. I want to let you know that this weapons will form against you, but they will not prosper. Don't think that you're about to come out here, be a healer, be a person who's going to impact the world, and then weapons won't be formed against you. Weapons will be formed against you, but let's say this, they will not prosper. Weapons will be formed against me, but they will not prosper. And even when they are formed, I will not be scared. And if the devil's coming for you, that means that the devil's scared of you. So which one is empowered, baby? Let's talk about it here, okay? So let me tell you something. If we walk in fear, we're going to live a life that we never really go towards what we were brought here to do. Best you live in courage and let them come after you rather than you live in fear and then you're coming after you. Here's what happens when you live in fear. You rob yourself of possibilities. You know how many people don't get up and do certain stuff because they're scared? Right? Let me tell you which one is scared. The ramifications of not living or the ramifications of living. Which one is, look, either way, you could step outside and something happened to you. If you're scared of what's happening to you, you will never happen the way you want to. Let me do something let me tell you something that changed my life and what actually got me to step into my ultimate courage. The moment I realized that I would never die. Everybody comment in the chat, I will never die, I will only change forms. Right? This is what actually changed my life. I realized that why would I be scared of something that would make me die when I will never die, I only change forms. Right? To fear death is to fear losing life. I will never die because man is a spirit who possesses a soul and lives in a body. If you get rid of the body, I still have the spirit. If you try to kill my spirit, I still have a soul. If you try to download things into my soul, I still will never die. So I'm limitless. I am immortal. If I am immortal, how can I be fearful? Let's say that. If I am immortal, how can I be fearful? If God is with me, who can be against me? God is going to direct your steps, and he counts your your days are counted. So comment in the chat, I will never die, I will only change form. Once you know this, you are freed from thinking that you will lose something. You will never lose anything. You just find yourself, and you will only find yourself on the other space of courage. So I need you to be courageous in the next year, 2023, because guess what happens? Without courage, we will definitely, so we need to get really courage. We need to be very courageous in these moments, because courage is what's going to help you go. Okay, so let's define what courage is about. Courage is about that you stand in something that's greater than you, and you know you're backed up by something that's more than just you. Somebody walk outside. We're so fragile as human beings. So it's not in the fragility as human beings that we must fear, but it is in our vitality as spirits that we must have faith. It's not in the fragility of us as human bodies, because anything can eat. Look, you can die by anything. But listen, how have you seen people who are 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds? The other day I was looking at somebody who lives on the street. You can say he's homeless, and he kind of looks like a crackhead. But let me just say that. Okay, just a joking joke, but I'm being serious. But anyways, I'm like, yo, how did this person survive? Right? He's not really doing anything that significant with his life. Right? Because he's not really impacting people. He's not really bringing his gift out, but yet God still made sure that he thrived. And you think that God has a mission and a purpose for your life, and you're not going to thrive? Of course you're going to thrive, because God has a mission for your life. God protects his soldiers. Let's write this in the chat. I will not fear death, because God got me. God directs my steps. I will not fear death, because God got me. God directs my steps. Once you have a faith more than you believe that there's a higher power that got your back, how can you be scared? How can I be scared of what's against me when God is for me? Let's write that down. How can I be scared of what's against me when God is for me and God is with me? God got me. I need you to wake up, because you cannot be scared, because God got you. Somebody says, I don't know what tomorrow will bring. Don't worry about what tomorrow will bring. God got your tomorrow. But somebody says, what if I only have 6 years? Make it the best 6 years. Right? We cannot live in the spirit of fear. We have to live in the spirit of courage. And the devil will try to plant seeds in your mind. They're trying to plant seeds of fear. Look, when God is ready to bless you, you're going to have a little fear. When God is using an avenue to bless you, and he's like, yo, do this, you're going to be like, what if that happens? God is like, yo, chase your dream. You're like, but what if I lose everything? God is like, well, sometimes you're going to have to lose everything to gain everything. Sometimes you're going to have to die to be born again. We must not fear death, because on the other side of dying to your old self is you being born a new person. I went through a season of my life where I was like, man, I don't know if I could be in this holistic stuff. I know what happens. And then God had to work through me and with me and reaffirm me that you need to trust me, and that there's no greater purpose in this world but what you're doing. I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, but something came with me today. It was like, yo, I need you to speak power into your life. I need you to remember how powerful you are. If demons want to, look, there are evil forces in the world who don't want to see you prosper. Why would anybody form a weapon against somebody they're not fearful of? Look, there's the balance of power is the thing is, yo, this person may rob me of my power, so I'm scared of this person. If the devil fears you, then why would you fear the devil? That's beneath your feet. That's beneath your feet. You must not be scared. There was a story in the Bible where one of God's prophets went and hid. He hid in the cave. I was watching this TD Jakes. Y'all need to start watching TD Jakes sermons, because he's the next level prophet, right? People will talk about him in negative ways, but he's a next level, and he's sharing a lot of information that God is divinely communicating to his people, but some people are not listening, right? And he talked about, and for some reason I forgot the name of the prophet. He was in the cave, and he's in the cave, and he's like, they're coming for me. Like, they're coming for me. And God is like, What are you doing? Directly talking to him. What are you doing? What are you hiding from? Why are you running from what I brought here to do? Why are you scared of Jezebel? Why are you scared of this woman? She can't do nothing to hurt you. Do you know who I am? Do you know what force is with you? If I stand with you, who can be against you? God will do some miraculous things that will free you. They will try to cast stones on you a lot. They throw you in the lion's den and he will use it to prosper you. Your own brothers will try to kill you and he will make you king out of them trying to kill you. You will come on the other side of it because God got you. Let's put that again. T.D. Jakes. Y'all need to be listening to T.D. Jakes. God got you. Right? And that's actually his recent message. Right? I want to give him all his honor because that's what he said. He was like, man, God, I was listening to him. I'm like, man, you right, man. God is out here to prosper you, and you need to think big and not small, not being scared of what it is. We need to be so powerful. We need to stay steadfast that we cannot be scared. Okay, we need to walk with courage and not fear. So let's walk with this. I'm walking with courage and not fear. Let's put that in the chat. I'm walking with courage and not fear. Courage will take you places that fear won't take you. False expectations appearing real. Don't adopt somebody's expectations of what will happen to you when God already told you what he had in store for you. Somebody said, well, this may happen, this may happen. They never went that path. How do they know? How do they know? Well, if you get into this, you might lose this. How do they know? Don't take somebody's self-imposed limitations and say, this is a possibility. There we go, the prophet Elijah. That's it right there. She got it. Right? What are you doing here? That was what it was. And I remember I listened to T.D. Jakes on repeat because I feel like he be saying the word for me. And when God is ready to elevate you, he's gonna send people all types of ways. I'm in elevation season, baby. God took me through isolation. He stripped me of the things that did not serve me, and he's like, man, you can't go back. And now he's elevating me. And in that very elevation, you're going to feel fear. All of a sudden, God is putting me in front of hundreds of people, more hundreds of people than I've been before. After bringing in front of ones and zeros and twos and threes, God is bringing hundreds. And people are inquiring about what I have. And God is saying, don't be scared. Be empowered. I created you for such a time as this. And I need you in the battle, so don't be in the cave being scared of what's going to happen. I'm going to make sure. Look, the enemy's tool is going to be used to prosper you. Let's put that down. The enemy's tool is going to be used to prosper me. And I want to ask you, what are you doing in the cave of your fear? What are you doing in the cave of your fear? I remember Eric Thomas was talking about Batman and Bane is his name. And he was like, Bane was like, you train in the dark. But I was born in it. I was molded by the dark. That's what he said. E.T. is the one who made this big. He's like, I was born in it. You trained in it. But I was born in it. I was molded in it. I cannot be scared of the dark. In my shadows, I discovered my light. I want you to hear this. Don't be scared of the darkness. Walk in it. When everybody's scared. In 2020, people were scared. I was like, don't be scared. Be courageous. Right? We need that energy. Why? Because we can't walk in fear. The spirit of fear in itself will attract what you're scared of. Let me ask you, what you fear, you will attract. What you courage is about, you will create. Courage creates. Fear destroys. We must not walk in the spirit of fear. We must walk in greater is he that is in me that he is in the world. Let's put that down. Greatest is he that is in me than that he that is in the world. God has marked my steps. He's telling me what to do. He's directing. He's telling me this is the next step. And I need you to be obedient, whether you're scared or whether you have. Okay, somebody says, I will do what I have faith in. No, do what you're scared of. True faith is not, oh my God, you know what? I think this is breezy, easy, so I'm going to do it. True faith is, this is scary, this is dark. I'm going to step in that darkness. Because what? Let's say this. Though I walk through the shadows of the valleys of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Surely you will prepare a table in the midst of my enemies. You will anoint my head with oil, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Lord leads me through green pastures. He restoreth my soul. These words are not just words. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. If you're with God, you got to use these words. These are your swords, my friend. These are your swords, my friend. You must use the swords. Now, why am I speaking like this? Because this morning I'm like, some people don't let a few comments make you get scared. I was like, wait a minute. People gonna say that. People gonna say stuff like that. Or you got herbs for people to heal. Be scared of the man. I'm like, yo, God gave us these herbs. I was like, yo, if this is going to be a challenge that I'm going to have to overcome, surely I will come stronger on the other side of this. Surely I will become victorious over this. Surely this will prosper me. If I can get enough attention that this little guy with this little following, with this little impact can make people, then by all means, it means that God is about to elevate me, and I will stand strong, and I will stand courageous, and I will be powerful in the midst of this. I will be a voice of courage and not one of fear. I will not tremble in front of my challenges. I will stand strong. But in the midst of it, God is like, I need you to be not just courageous by spirit. I need you to be courageous through your impact. I need you to be courageous through the structures you have built. I need you to be courageous to your economic ways as well. Courage is not just in the spirit. Courage is in the systems that you've acquired and built for yourself, so that way when you need to do what you need to do, you can do it. Somebody say, I am courageous. Have you set up a system for your courage? Have you set up homes in multiple places for your courage? Can you have a passport in your courage? Can you build an entourage around you in your courage? Being in courage is not just, I feel good, I'm empowered. Being in courage is, I am courageous in it. Somebody says, how do I be courageous when I have illness? Be courageous enough to say, hey, I'm going through it, but I'm not about to, this moment is not about to break me, it's about to be Sometimes courage is you get up and you take an action step that you don't feel like doing. Sometimes courage is you can't move your limbs, but you find a way to move your spirit through your words. I met a guy over the weekend at Les Brown's Institute. His name was Jose, right? And slowly but surely he has a disease where he's losing control of his limbs. Right? When he couldn't move, he said, man, I felt like I'm young. I should be able to move. I don't think I'm lovable. But guess what he found out that he had more inside of him than being able to move his body. Now he's moving his spirit. He's moving his words. And through his words, he's traveling the world of being an inspiration. That's my man, Jose. Right? Your test is your testimony. I just told you the other day. I said your pain qualifies you for your success. Courage is that in spite of my challenge, I'm going to press on a little farther every day. That's right, Sean. Courage is like, yo, this moment has not came to break me, but to teach me something. This is courage. I'm going to get up and make it happen regardless. If I have breath in my body, my breath will praise the Lord. Because in my breath, God is in your breath. Every breath that I take will be a praise to the Lord. This is courage, y'all. We don't have to stand in front of armies to be courageous. Sometimes we just gotta stand in front of the weapons that's coming to destroy your cells. And say, you will not break me, cancer. Right? Look at diabetes and say, you will not take over my limbs. Not today. Look at your autoimmune disease and say, you will not. Look, my immune system is stronger than you. That's courage. It's to be able to not just stand against other cells, but stand against your own cells and command. I command you. You hear me? I command you to heal. That's courage. Somebody said, I need to stand before kings. No. Stand before your very own self and say, you getting up today. You don't feel like getting up? You getting up. You going to make this happen. You feel like quitting your business? No, you about to get up and make this happen. If I still have breath, I still can praise the Lord. Let everything with breath in his body. Praise the Lord. You hear me? You hear me? There's power in courage. You become an encouragement when you're encouraged. You look at your kids and you don't know how you're going to feed them, but you say, look, we're going to find a way to eat. You look at your wife, you don't know how you're going to pay the bills. You're going to find a way to make that happen. You about to start a new business, you don't necessarily know how to do it. You say, we're going to learn how to do it. We're going to discover how to do it. Sometimes courage is fighting against your own limiting beliefs and everything that people said that was wrong against you. And you got to stand courageously against it. You hear me? If you hear me, put I hear you. You hear me? Look, your spirit got to look against your own body and speak life into you, man. There's power in courage. I'm telling you. Encouragement is when you stay in your courage. Encouragement is when you stay in your courage. Listen, those who have ears, let them hear, baby. Somebody says, but I got to fortify. It's going to take a minute for the fortifying of your temple. Sometimes you don't just wake up encouraged. But if you wake up encouraged today, you do it anyways. You wake up encouraged tomorrow, you do it anyways. You're going to build a strand of courage. A strand of courage. A strand of courage. Every day, you're building a strand of courage. You staying in you got to be courageous, man. I remember when the pandemic come and people were scared that they was going to get the disease. I was like, I'm not scared of COVID. I'm not scared of that. I'm not scared of that. I'm going to prosper. I'm going to come better on this side. We're about to go through the most difficult times that we've been in for a while. I promise. I need you to walk into it with courage. Some people be like, man, it's about to be a recession. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I might go through depression. I want to let you know that, no, you're going to elevation in the recession. You're going to help people through depression, and that's going to be your elevation in the recession, baby. You hear me? Do you hear me? They say the recession make millionaires. You're going to be a millionaire out of the recession. There will be a transferring of power, and you're going to be so much in your power that you're going to recognize the transfer. You hear me? And while it's up, you're going to be saving, so while it's down, you're going to go buy. You know what the rich does when it's low? They go buy up neighborhoods. They go buy up buildings. They go buy up real estate because they saved up to buy up when people are running out. You hear me? Do you hear me? You're going to start a business to meet the needs and necessity of you people at that time rather than being scared. People might stop spending money on their Versace's and their Birkins, but they're going to spend money on their mental health. They're going to spend money on food. They're going to spend money on education. They're going to spend the money on finding something to do something so they can do something about their life. And you're going to be on the other side of that. You're going to be wealthier. You're going to be better. You're going to be stronger because you're going to be courageous, and you're not going to walk in the spirit of fear. You're going to walk in the spirit of courage, baby. It's winter time. People are slowing down. People are like, yo, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Guess what I'm doing? I'm elevating, baby. You know what I said? I said, while everybody's slowing down, it's November, getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I said, I'm going to speed that thing up. I'm about to reach more people than I ever reached. I'm about to empower more people than I ever empowered. I'm about to make more money than I ever made. And don't be scared to make money. You making money is what indication? It's an indication that your service. The more you serve, the more you should be blessed. So please bless me if I'm serving you. You're like, yo, Ed, I'm in good service. Yes, bless me. No more scarcity mentality. How can we be scarce when we're abundant? You're like, I am abundant. I am abundant. Yes, you deserve to get paid for your abundance. You should be wealthy because you're wealthy. You're rich in spirit. Surely you should be rich in money. Don't let money make you feel like you're doing something bad, because we need the money to go towards the people who are doing good. You hear me? Do y'all hear me? I just want to make sure you hear me. Here's what I'm letting you know. We must not walk in the spirit of fear. We must walk with the spirit of courage, because that's what's going to elevate you to another dimension. That's what's going to help you prosper. It's only courage, not fear. Prosperity comes to those who is courageous, not those who are scared. Prosperity comes to those who walk into their power and not run away, being scared of powers that be. Prosperity lies to those who seize the opportunity. You must seize the opportunity when it arises. So somebody says, I'm afraid of putting myself out there because I don't know what might come out of it. Did you know that whether you put yourself out there or not, you're out there? You might as well be out there with purpose. You're already out there. You're like, I'm afraid of losing my information. Your information is already out there somewhere in the dark web. But you might as well bring your gift to light, being out there. Get up, get out of the cave. Don't be like Elijah hiding away. And God said, what are you doing here? You know what I put inside you? Do you know who you are? You know how powerful? This is the thing. You don't know who you are. I'm here to remind you who you are. You are powerful. You are powerful. Look, a lot of you were chosen to do something, but you're disqualifying yourself. You're like, well, I went through that. I went through this pain. I went through this challenge. Your pain qualified you for your success. Somebody says, you can't find it under a rock. You can't find it in the cave. You got to get up and get out. That's right. You better recognize what you are. You better find out. You better discover what's in you. You better know of your power. And that's the thing. We live in a culture where they're trying to hide you. They don't want you to know who you are. You better find out. You better stop effing around and find out. You better find out who you really are. I'm telling you. Once you find out who you are, you walk differently. You walk with a different type of swagger. You walk with a different type of energy. You walk with a different type of, look, people will look at you and be like, who is this person? There's something about this person's spirit that gives